Good morning. Thank you for coming to the 8th grade depiction of the Passion of Christ. We pray that this play helps you to become closer to Jesus through his sacrifice for us. We ask that you please leave the church quietly and reflect on Jesus' passion and death. We thank Jesus for dying so that we might live forever. As you leave this morning, there will be volunteers stationed at the doors for donations. This will be used for future costume repairs and purchases. There will also be an opportunity for photos after. Thank you.
Come on, children, it's time to get ready to go.
Where are we going, Mother?
We are going to Jerusalem today. It is a special day for us, and we must get ready to go.
What will we be doing here?
We are going to see the entry of the Lamb into Jerusalem. After that, we go to market to prepare for our own Passover meal.
What is Passover?
Passover started with Abraham a long time ago. He did as God told him to do. God rewarded Abraham with descendants as great as the grains of sand. Abraham's people were led into slavery in Egypt. God promised to deliver them. There are many plagues in Egypt at the time of Moses. On the night when all the firstborn were to be killed, Passover was born. God told his people to mark their door with the blood of the Paschal Lamb, and the angel of death would pass over their homes. This remembers the night when the angel of death spared the firstborn.
Why is this important?
It is important for us to remember that God will take care of his people. God promised Abraham that he would have as many descendants as grains of sand. Look at all of us now. We are his children. We believe that God will keep his promises.
God also promised that he would deliver our people out of slavery. Moses delivered our people out of slavery just as God said he would. It has been said that God has promised to send us a new lamb who will again deliver us. There is talk that this new lamb, who is called Jesus, may be at the entry today. We will have to watch for it. Do you think you can help me do that?
Yes, let's go.
Stay close to me, children. We will try to make our way to the road together. Hurry along and let us stop and get a branch to wave at the lamb. Okay.
Are you in to see the entry of the lamb today, sir?
My family and I just arrived. I've heard talk of a new lamb. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, there is one that's being talked about. I understand he is the Messiah, the one that will be king. He has done miraculous things.
I have been to listen to him preach. He speaks in stories. The last time I was with him, we were a huge crowd, at least 5,000. They brought him a few fish and loaves to feed us. We thought we would go hungry, but he managed to feed every one of us and still have 12 basketfuls left. It was the most amazing thing.
The man may truly be the Messiah. He raises people from the dead. My cousin Lazarus was dead when Jesus came to mourn for him. He raised him up just like that. God must work through this man.
I too have heard that this man, I believe his name is Jesus, has healed the blind, sick, and expelled demons from those possessed. Would it not be wonderful to be a part of the procession that leads him into our city?
I understand that it is dangerous for him to be here. There are some who are not so happy about the idea of a new king of the Jews. He has been forbidden to preach in the temple. There are some who do not believe he is sent from God.
I must go to my family and tell my children of the greatness they will see today.
Father joins his family as well as hundreds of people gathered to welcome the Lamb into Jerusalem. Jesus comes into sight riding on a donkey. He is followed by a group of disciples.
The procession ends with Jesus teaching to a group of gatherers. Father, mother, and the children sit to listen to Jesus speak. The children get closer and closer. Jesus laughs and opens his arms to them.
What are you willing to give me if I hand this over to you?
We are pleased that you came to see us today. We are worried about the so-called King of the Jews. We will give you 30 pieces of silver in exchange for Jesus. How will we know who this Jesus is?
I will greet him with a kiss.
It is done. This Jesus is getting too popular. We must get rid of him. It's the only thing to do.
Jesus stayed in Jerusalem, teaching and healing those in need. It is now Holy Thursday. This is the day that Jesus would give us his greatest gift of all, his own body and blood. Earlier in the day, Peter and John were sent to prepare a room for the Passover meal. They bought a lamb and had it slaughtered in the temple according to the ritual. They bought wild herbs, unleavened bread, and wine. Jesus and the 12 apostles gather for what will be Jesus' last meal.
The hour has come for me to leave this world and return to my Father. Do not forget the new commandment that I have given to you. I want you to love one another as I have loved you. I have been sent here to serve you, not to be served.
Lord, are you going to wash my feet?
Yes, I am, Peter. You may not realize it now, but someday you may understand.
Lord, I won't have you wash my feet.
If I do not wash your feet, then you will no longer be my disciple.
Lord, then wash not only my feet, but my head and hands as well.
Now that you have bathed and have washed your feet, you are clean all over, but not all of you are. Do you not realize what I have just done for you? You call me your teacher and Lord. That is who I am. But if I have washed your feet, I who am teacher and Lord, you must wash each other's feet. I have given you an example. Do for one another as I have done for you. Come, let us go to the table. I have greatly desired to eat this Passover meal with you before I suffer. I tell you, from now on, I will not eat again until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Take this and eat it. This is my body, which will be broken for you.
Jesus, the living bread of God. Jesus, the saving cup of Christ. Every time we eat this bread, every time we drink this cup, we proclaim your glory until you come again.
Take this and share it. This is my blood, which will be poured for you.
Jesus, the living bread of God. Jesus, the saving cup of Christ. Every time we eat
The hand of my betrayer is with me at this table.
Surely it's not I, Lord.
It is you who have said it.
Lord, I am at your side always. I am prepared to go to jail or even to die for you.
Peter, before the rooster crows, you have said 3 times that you do not even know me. Be quick about it, friend. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Have faith in God and have faith in me. I am going to prepare a place for you, and then I shall come back to take you with me. I am the way, I am the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Philip, after I've been with you all of this time, you still do not know me. Anyone who loves me will be true to my word, and my Father will love him. Together we will make a dwelling place with him. Peace is my farewell gift to you. My peace is my gift to you. Do not be distressed or fearful. We must go. The prince of the world is at hand. He has no hold over me, but I must let the world know that I love my Father and will do as he has commanded of me. Let us be on our way.
Jesus takes Peter, James the Greater, and John to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray.
Stay here and keep watch while I pray.
Stay here and keep watch with me. The hour has come. Stay here and keep watch with me. Watch and pray.
Father, the sorrow at my heart is so great, so heavy, that it almost crushes me. If possible, Father, take this cup of suffering from me, but not what I want, Father, but what you want. Peter, couldn't you have stayed awake and prayed with me for even an hour? The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Stay here and keep watch with me. The hour has come. Stay here and keep watch with me. Watch and pray.
Father, this cup of suffering cannot pass from me unless I drink from it. Then not my will, but your will be done. Still sleeping? Get up, get up. It is time for me to be handed over. Look, here comes the one who's betraying me.
Peace, Rabbi.
Judas, you betrayed the Son of Man with a kiss. Put your sword back where it belongs. Those who use it are sooner or later destroyed by it. Do you not think I could call upon my Father to provide a legion of angels for me at a moment's notice? If I did that, then I'll be fulfilled in the scriptures that says it's to happen this way. You come armed with swords to arrest me. From day to day I sat teaching in the temple precincts, and yet you still did not arrest me. Nonetheless, this all happens in the fulfillment of the writing of the prophets.
The guards took Jesus to Caiaphas, the high priest, where teachers and elders are gathered. Peter follows Jesus from a safe distance and waits in the courtyard to see how it will all come out. Many witnesses come forward and tell lies about Jesus.
This man said he could tear down God's temple and build it again in 3 days. He claims that he is the Messiah.
Don't you have an answer? In the name of the living God, I put you under oath. Tell us, are you the Messiah?
So you say.
Blasphemy! We don't need any more witnesses. You heard it for yourselves. What do you think?
He is guilty. He must die.
Take him to Pilate.
The soldiers take Jesus to Pilate. Outside in the courtyard, Peter is still waiting to see what would happen to Jesus. As he is waiting, a servant comes up to him.
You were with Jesus of Nazareth, weren't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was one of those with Jesus. I recognize him.
I swear I don't know the man.
Of course you are one of them. Even the way you talk gives you away.
I swear I'm telling the truth. I don't even know him. May God punish me if I'm lying.
When Judas learns that Jesus is going to be put to death, he is sorry. He changes his mind and brings the coins back to the chief priests. Afterwards, Judas went off and hung himself. The chief priests used the coins he returned to buy a potter's field to use as a cemetery for foreigners.
He opposes the payment of taxes to Caesar and maintains he is the Messiah, a king.
Are you the king of the Jews?
You say so.
I have found this man not guilty. Are you a Galilean?
It is as you say.
If he hails from Galilee, then he's under the jurisdiction of Herod. Send him to Herod, who is now in Jerusalem.
Jesus is escorted to see Herod. Herod was hoping to meet this Jesus. He wanted to see Jesus perform one of his signs. He questioned him at length. But Jesus gives no reply. Eventually, Herod and his soldiers begin to mock Jesus. They replace his clothing with the cloak that belonged to the throne. Herod sends Jesus back to Pilate. As Herod leaves, Pilate assembles a crowd and priests around him.
Are you the king of the Jews?
My kingdom does not belong here.
Kingdom? Then you are a king.
It is as you say. I come here to speak the truth.
And what is the truth? You brought this man before me and accused him of inciting the people to revolt. I've conducted my investigation in your presence and found this man not guilty, nor did Herod, for he sent him back to us. No capital crime has been committed. I shall have him flogged and released.
Away with this man! Release Barabbas to us!
Barabbas has been imprisoned for a rebellion and murder that has taken place in the city. Pilate addressed the crowd, still wishing to release Jesus, but the crowd continued to shout,
Crucify him! Crucify him!
You want me to release this criminal in exchange for Jesus who's been found not guilty?
Release Barabbas! Crucify Jesus!
Bring me a bowl of water. I'm innocent of the blood of this just man. Responsibility is yours.
Let his blood be on us and on our children!
Pilate released Barabbas to the crowd. Jesus was taken, scourged, and then handed over to be crucified. The soldiers stripped him of his clothes and wrapped him in a scarlet cloak. They made him a crown of thorns that they placed on Jesus' head. They stuck a reed in his hand and began to mock him.
They spat on him and struck him on the head with the reed they took from his hand. When they had finished making a fool of him, they stripped him of his cloak and started toward Calvary.
Lord, let me walk that lonely road with you, under the weight of the woods. Lord, let me walk that last mile in your shoes, under the weight of the woods. Freedom can be found letting down under the weight of the
Look at the quiet way that Jesus does what they tell him. He doesn't fight back or get angry. Jesus forgives them as they place the heavy cross on his shoulders. He thinks of how he loves them and us. In his heart, he asks the Heavenly Father to help him carry this cross bravely. Jesus is tired and sore because he has already been beaten and whipped. The cross is clumsy and heavy, and the crown of thorns is digging into his head.
Jesus, make me brave like you.
The cross is crushing his shoulder, and the sharp stones in the road are piercing his feet. The Roman soldiers want him to hurry and prod him with their spears. Jesus is trying to move quickly, but stumbles and falls. See Jesus trying to get up. Jesus does not get angry. He offers all of his suffering to his Father.
Teach me to love like you.
Look at the beautiful lady in the crowd reaching out to Jesus. She is his mother, Mary. She puts her arm around Jesus, and her face is full of tears. It tears our heart to see her son treated so cruelly. Jesus, too, has tears in his eyes as he is comforted to see his mother. You can see how much love they have for each other. The Roman soldiers would not let Mary stay close to Jesus and lead her away before she can say loving words to him. Jesus is sad because his mother had to see him beaten and bruised. He does not like to see her unhappy. Mary knows that Jesus chose to carry this cross for his people. She knows that Jesus must do this because this is what God wanted him to do. She has faith that God knows what is good for us.
Jesus, I want to love Mary as you did.
Simon of Cyrene is on his way home when he was pulled from the crowd of angry people. He was ordered to help Jesus carry his cross. At first, Simon did not want to help Jesus. Later, when he finds out who Jesus is, he is proud that he helped the Messiah carry his cross. Simon tries to help Jesus. Simon is strong, but this cross is heavy.
Jesus, I believe that like when Simon helped you with your cross, you will help me with mine.
There is a woman kneeling in front of Jesus on the road. Her name is Veronica. Jesus stops to look at her. She makes her way through the crowd to him and is not scared about the roughness around her. She wants to comfort Jesus and wipes his face. When she takes it away from Jesus' face, she sees that there is a picture of him on her cloth. It doesn't matter who you are, we can all try to erase the suffering of another person. God will see that we are good and kind and doing as Jesus told us to do.
Jesus, print your face on my mind and my heart so that I can learn to be more like you.
Jesus is having a difficult time walking. Even with Simon's help, he feels weak and hurts all over. The soldiers will not let him stop and rest. They poke at him to walk faster. He takes another step and falls again in the dirty street. The cross falls on top of him. Jesus is so tired. He just wants to lie there a minute. He finally gets up and starts walking again.
Jesus, thank you for showing me how to always get up and keep going.
The women of Jerusalem are standing on the corner of the street where Jesus is passing. They feel sorry for him and say loving and kind things to him.
I will feel better if you all continue to be kind and gentle to one another in the name of my Father. Teach your children to do this as well. Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but do as I have commanded of you.
It is hard to help other people when you are hurting or feeling bad. Jesus ignored his pain and tried to console the woman of Jerusalem. It takes courage to be unselfish and think of others before you.
Jesus, help me to be thoughtful of others as you are.
Jesus is walking slower and slower. The soldiers want him to hurry. They are fearful that all the people will cause a riot. Jesus falls flat onto the ground. It is so hard for him to even breathe. He does not want to get up, but pushes himself up once again. Jesus would like to be rid of all this pain. He endures so much for us.
Jesus, you are a hero. Help me to remember your persistence and courage when the road is long and I want to give up.
Jesus has finally come to a hill called Calvary. This is where Jesus will die. The Roman soldiers strip Jesus of his clothes. The clothes are sticking to the wounds Jesus endured for us. He stands there, waiting for his Father's will to be done. Jesus is fighting against sin. He wants to win this fight even though it is so difficult for him. He wants to make it possible for all of us to have life that lasts forever in the kingdom of heaven. We hate to see Jesus suffer, but we want him to win the battle over sin and death.
Jesus, I will make this struggle worth it. Thank you for your willingness to bring me heaven.
There lies Jesus. He is on the cross, having his hands and feet nailed to the beams. They stand Jesus in the ground for the people to see. Everyone stands and looks at Jesus. People walking by who do not believe in Jesus called out cool words.
So you are the one who is going to destroy the temple. We built it in 3 days.
Save yourself, lie down, and come down off that cross if you're truly God's son.
He saved others, but he cannot save himself. So this is the King of Israel. Let's see him come down from that cross, and then we'll believe in him.
Jesus just watches as they say these terrible things to him. He knows that he must endure to save their sins.
Jesus, I will endure cruelty just like you.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
Jesus is crucified with 2 insurgents, one on his right and one on his left.
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing.
Have you no fear of God, seeing that you are under the same sins? We deserve it after all. We are paying the price for what we have done. But this man has done nothing wrong. Jesus, remember me when I enter into your kingdom.
I assure you, this day you will be with me in paradise. I am thirsty. Woman, there is your son. There is your mother. My God, why have you forsaken me? Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.
Look at Jesus after his body is taken down from the cross and the blood and dirt have been washed away. is lying in his mother's lap. She holds him lovingly, saying his name over and over. Her heart is broken, but she does not cry or give up. She loves her son for enduring this agony for us, to fulfill God's word. She remembers about waiting 3 days. All of his enemies are gone, so those who love him can come near and stay with his mother.
Jesus, I love you. Jesus' friends have put clean clothes on his body and sprinkled him in a sweet-smelling perfume. They put his body in the tomb. After they leave the tomb, they roll a giant stone in front of the doorway. Pontius Pilate sent soldiers to guard the tomb so that nobody would steal Jesus. The soldiers sit all day and all night.
Jesus, I am waiting for you.
Mother, are you crying?
I am crying. Something horrible happened today.
What is it? What happened?
Remember when we came into Jerusalem and I told you a man named Jesus was to be the new lamb sent from God?
Yes.
Well, I've been watching Jesus all week long. I listened to him preach. I saw him heal people. I watched him as he was sentenced to die. There is no doubt in my mind that a man who could do all this must be the true lamb sent from God.
Is that what's so horrible? There's a new Lamb of God?
No, but not everyone felt the same way about Jesus as I do. They are afraid of what he preached. Jesus said there would be a new kingdom. They were afraid they would lose power to the new king. They had him arrested and killed. They nailed him to this cross standing right here.
That is awful. Did it hurt him?
Yes, it hurt him very much. He suffered greatly. He sacrificed his life so that we can have ours. He told us he would open the gates of a place called the Kingdom of Heaven, and if we love the Father through him, we too can live there with him.
How do we get there?
We must remember what happened here today. And then we must tell our children and our children's children of what Jesus endured for us. We must honor the love that Jesus had for us and never forget his sacrifice.